Alrighty, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Want to run you guys through a trade recap today and the trades that ended up taking. Something really unfortunate happened today. I should be up around 15K and basically high quality short that we ended up alerting in the group. We're about to get on the charts and I'll run you guys through it, but ended up entering the short and my broker ended up closing my position because I was trading on a separate account, and it was an account that I strictly just take A+ setup. So there wasn't much capital. There's maybe like 10, 15K now. That's a good amount of capital, but still. And I tried entering another contract later into the position continuing to scale into the position because it was high quality. And it wouldn't fill my order for some reason, and I spammed the sell button to see if I could it would go through, and I got margin called from pressing the sell button trying to add contracts, and it took my position off, so I only made like 3K, 3.8 on it, and we then ended up just selling right before the move, and I would have made like 15K, so really rough. But want to jump into the charts, and besides that point, again, the only thing that sucked today was that. But besides the point, I'm up around 4,600, so still made a good day. Good way to start the year. It's always good to start the year on a win. But more importantly, I want to jump into the charts and show you guys there's a lot to learn out of today when it comes to price action and what I was able to see. So the first things first. So starting today with all of the trade recaps, I want to try to show you guys my journaling process, and we're starting a new TradePath account completely fresh, and I'm going to be using this to journal my trades, and we're going to kind of be going back and forth from TradePath and the actual charts. But I want to show you guys so far. I did implement one of the trades that I took on the 31st that I kind of wanted to include in this as well. It was a 4K trade, so I added that as well. But currently, we're on a green streak going into the year. I'm up around $9,000 in the last couple days from 31st to the 2nd. We'll see how this continues to go forward. But this was the trade that ended up getting stopped, or not stopped, but the broker ended up taking it off beforehand, got margin called on it. So only made $3,320 on this account. Again, keep in mind, I don't normally do that. I should not be getting margin called. You should not be getting margin called. But I took that trade on that other account that I decided to add to this journal as well. So let's jump into the charts and let's actually get into this trade and what made it so good. So first things first, I want to rewind and kind of run you guys through my bias today and what I was actually looking for. Now, today, in my opinion, was super, super clear for shorts. And the reason why it was super, super clear for shorts is because 4-hour fair value gap was starting to get ran through on the bigger time frame, and I was starting to understand, do we want to have displacement towards the upside? Do we want to hold the fair value gap or not? And on Tuesday, we ended up getting displacement down, and we ended up closing below, and we ended up rebalancing this morning. So on ES, one of the things that I was talking about with a buddy of mine who asked me, like, how did I form a short bias today, because he was looking to see the move higher. And one thing that I want you guys to think about and how I think about it is, if I'm bullish, right, what is the actual bullish bias? If I was to clear this chart and I was to look at this, okay, what's the bullish bias? I would look at this as like, okay, well, sell side internally got swept. Oh my God, we have all of this generated buy side liquidity. Like, this looks so good. Now, if I'm bullish and I'm confident and I need a bias to say that, hey, we go and run all of these highs, right? Buy side, this is buy side. This is how I would be looking at it if I'm bullish. If I'm bullish, I zoom out to the 4-hour. What needs to happen for me to have a full bullish bias? This needs to get closed below or above, because this would be our change in the state. So I'm bearish. I'm going to continue to be bearish unless we get displacement through this high. And that's how I think about it. On the bigger time frame, there's no reason for me to be bullish until this gets closed above. And if I am bullish, I expect to get displacement through this. Now, what happens? ES ends up going higher, running all of those low resistance buy side liquidity that we had this high and this high, and we also rebalance to the 4-hour. So what are the reasons why markets move? Hunt liquidity, rebalance inefficiencies, rebalance equilibrium, generate liquidity. So market fails to displace higher. We take all the internal liquidity, we rebalance to the inefficiency to then continue to sell off to the recent low, which becomes the draw on liquidity in relationship to the market maker model. So what I looked today was, I noticed NQ fails to displace higher. ES ends up rebalancing price, so there's no more reason for NQ to. SMT gets put in place at both of these highs, this high and this high. And from this point in time, I'm looking for the bigger time frame to hold bearish. We have a 1-hour bearish fair value gap that's continuing to hold. And so now once I have my bigger time frame buys, right? Once I can look at this and I can say, okay, bigger time frame SMT. Keep in mind we were in this 1 hour inverse fair value gap that was still continuing to hold bearish as well. So now what am I looking at? Okay, let me zoom in. So now where am I looking for to take an entry going into open? Like what's actually going on? Now there was a lot of opportunity for shorts today. This was the first one, which I came on and noticed before I actually ended up taking the trade. But I'm curious if some of you guys took it, because I know some of my students did, so I'm positive that some of you guys probably saw this. But once this SMT got put in play, if you zoom into the 5 minute, 5 minute got rebalanced to high, ended up getting taken. I'm going to take this off so it's just easier to see. But internal high gets taken, 5 minute gets rebalanced to 1 minute fair value gap gets ran through. Also have the internal change in the state right here. This would have been a nice possible short opportunity, targeting this low and then all of this low resistance liquidity that we have right here. So in this ended, would have ended up working out perfectly. Now, before market open, what happens is this. What do I need to see to validate this bias for me to be super bearish? This right here. 30-minute fair value gap gets ran through. And not only does this 30-minute fair value gap get ran through, we also have our change in the state. So the series of up-close candles, right? The last series of up-close candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We get closed below the series of up-close candles. So now, what happens? Price ends up selling. Oh, no, actually, so this was the first trade that I actually took today, which, again, also really sucked. Today should be a massive day, and today was honestly a learning lesson. Partially was on me, partially was on broker, but took a short in this fair value gap. And this was a trade that ended up pretty much getting stopped at break even. It was like $230 trade. And I was looking to see all the way to London low. Or not, I don't believe this was London, actually. This was just the recent low. Was it London? No. But this is where I wanted to see the drawn liquidity become. And this is where I was targeting. Now, one thing that I reflected on this is, and what I was thinking about is, I entered this trade, and at the time that we were like right here, I was up probably like $8,000, and we ended up getting all the way back up to stop at break even. Now, that normally should not happen. Like that's bad. That should normally not happen. But I technically followed my rules. I didn't expect to see this big of a retracement back higher, so I definitely should have scaled at least something there, and that was something that I journaled on this trade. So after this, we ended up rebalancing all the way back higher. At this point in time, it looks wonky, but the market is doing exactly what it needs to do. What do I mean by that? Once we have manipulation on the bigger time frame, this SMT gets put in place. What are we looking for? Displacement to the downside in favor of the draw. We want the draw to be overlapping, right? Why is today such a good high quality day for shorts? Because it's an internal model overlapped with the external model. There's sell side high quality, or there's high probability sell side here, and there's high probability sell side here in both models. So we're overlapping a bearish bias. Once that 30-minute fair value gap gets ran through, we get displacement to the downside. And what is this big rebalance? This is just going back to OTE, right? We're rebalancing price. And what are the reasons why markets move? Rebalance back to equilibrium. So we pull all the way back. Once we pull all the way back, I continue to watch price action. I continue to watch price action. And at this point in time, right here, this becomes the soup. This looks amazing. So now, internal high gets taken. This was the trade. That was A plus quality, beautiful. What happens? Bigger time frame. This becomes our internal market maker sell model. Oh, that's not what I wanted. And what do I need to see? I need to see internal manipulation for me to be able to take a trade like this. And that's exactly what happens. So SMT gets put in, we displace, we pull all the way back, we then sell back off. And what am I waiting for? Internal manipulation. So this is just straight down, straight up, straight down. There's no structure yet. Waiting, waiting, waiting. What happens? Internal high gets put in. Then we come up, take the internal high with this SMT in favor of this bias, and then I zoom in again. And then again, what's the same thing that I'm looking for? Find the one fair value gap or the change in the state. And once those fair value gaps get ran, I enter short. So this becomes the change in the state here. These fair value gaps get ran through to the downside. Waiting, 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 boom. I enter short. With a stop above this recent high. Targeting the external low. Now, I enter this short, and at around here, I get margin called because I tried to add another contract. It happens. It's unfortunate. It would have been great to start the year with a 15K day, but it happens. One of the things that I just want to get you on, again, this isn't a pity party for me. I want to really just dive in and make sure you guys understand how good this setup is. High quality setups is when we can overlap the existing buys, right? We have clear manipulation on the bigger time frame. The bigger time frame SMT is king. I saw so many people get scared with this bullish SMT here. The market came back down and everybody's looking at this like, oh my God, we're going to reverse. We're going to go back higher. The only reason this SMT gets put in place is so we can go manipulate this, right? Manipulation to the downside. How are we going to trap the shorts? Go stop them. This is because internal buy side's resting here. SMT gets put in. The SMT does all this its job, which is to rebalance price to the internal liquidity. Then we get another SMT because internal liquidity is being put in. But why is this valid? Because this is more valid for a trade because it's in favor of the drawn liquidity. So this is internal manipulation. High gets taken. This bullish SMT basically did its job, which is just to go and take the internal high. Internal high gets taken, SMT as well with it, and we end up selling all the way back to the lows. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful trade. This is high quality. Like, I saw so many people take this. So many people banked in the Discord today. Like, it was actually crazy. So high quality setup. Not really much that I want to go over with this. Just wanted to hop on and show you guys this setup and make sure that you guys were able to see this today. If not, again, go back, reflect on this because this was really, really, really high quality. This was probably one of the best setups, I would say, in the last month, 2 months. So I'm hoping that this was a little insight as to what January price action is going to look like now that we're out of December. It already is looking good. So we'll see how it continues to hopefully give us some more setups as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to watch me trade live and take trades like this with me and our team, click the link in the description for the mentorship to see if you're a good fit, as well as if you want to sign up for a possibly beta testing for TradePath. There's the link in the description as well that you can sign up for beta testing, as we'll probably be launching around end of January, early February, but we're still working on a lot of things. So I'm super excited to share with you guys as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.